All right, and we are live. Hello, Internet. Welcome to day 2, stream number 2 of the 90 Day Novel Challenge. I am Cody. I am the host for the 90 Days. I am the one that is attempting to write the first draft of my fantasy novel by the end of this year. And a little bit about my fantasy novel, the way that I'm pitching it is that it is an epic fantasy with deadly trials inspired by The Witch's Road from Agatha All Along. And there's disappearing islands. There's a quest to save the islanders, the survivors, and a king that no one's heard from in 100 years. So that's the vibe of my story. And I'm going to let my lovely guests introduce themselves. And we can start with Madeline and work our way back.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Madeline James. I am a fellow fantasy author here on AuthorTube. I also do a lot of world building stuff. So yes, yay, fantasy, always here for it. I am potentially slightly changing my initial goal for this 90-day challenge, which I was originally like, you know what, I'm going to do, the first draft of book 2 of my debut series, which is probably going to end up being like 140,000 words. And I was like, I can totally do that. And the entire final draft of book 1 in this 90-day period. And I'm like, maybe not. So that's kind of where we are right now. That's the status update.
Oh, the book 2.
Mm.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. This is so cool. My name's Asa. Hi, everyone. I'm on AuthorTube. I write stories. I used to be a screenwriter. Cody, I'm so proud of you for this project and inspired. And just everyone who's here, I know we share affection and enthusiasm for Cody's career and life. And I'm touched to be here and joined and invited. Tonight, I am working on I started a horror writing workshop, and I have kind of some homework, as it were, from that, like an exercise that then will kind of seg into a story. So that's my goal for the duration of the stream. Yeah, glad to be here.
Awesome. Those were the nicest words anyone's ever said about me. Thank you so much, Asa. But yes, shout out to chat for always showing up to write with us. We have so many friends in the chat. You saw them going across the screen. I mean, just it's a stacked chat. There's so many friends. So many. We're so happy that you're all here to write with us. If you have any questions for either Madeline or Asa or myself, feel free to drop them in the chat. We'll be happy to yap. And because me personally, one of my favorite part about meeting other writers is just talking about process, because all of our processes are so different. Yeah. And I find it just so intriguing to just pick writers' brains and see how the similarities and the differences, but we still end up at the same result. It's so cool. So with that said, drop your questions and I will break us out with an icebreaker question. Ooh. My question for the two of you is going to be, I had one and then and I was like, no, it left me. What is your ideal season, for, if you have one, for drafting new ideas? Is there a time of year where you feel that your creativity flows a little better than others? For me, my creativity flows the best in this season, in the fall. Once the first leaf touches the ground, I'm ready to write. It is like a magic spell. I don't know what it is, but for me, fall time is like my new ideas, new stories, drafting, outlining, world building vibe. So I'm curious if you have anything similar like that or different.
You cannot deny the vibes of a nice fall writing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
When you do cozy, I do best when I'm very cozy and I can pretend the whole world doesn't exist. And so the cozier the better, and the colder it is outside, the cozier I can be. But I also really like that time in spring where it's raining constantly. Because if it's raining or storming, I am here. That's the portal that connects me to the other worlds of my inspiration. I'm here for it.
No, I love that.
Oh,
I love, because
Madeline, you should come down here right now then. Where I live in Mexico City, there's a monsoon season, and right now every day the sky opens right around now. It could happen during the stream. And
Oh,
it's
so
so
if we
much
lose you, we know what happens. The sky opened
exactly
and
right.
swallowed you
Right.
whole.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel you on that. I have to say it's fall for me as well. I think for different reasons though. I think I find get a lot of energy from like the school year cycle.
Mm.
As you know, that's kind of like baked into like, I don't know, hierarchical cultural forces. But I find the back to school moment, you know, I don't know, there's like new beginnings. I've always been like a lover of learning in school and so on. And I do find that it's about a month ago, that's like, okay, here's the year ahead.
Yeah.
You know, the school year.
Yeah,
What
the
do I want to
academic
have
year.
done by a year from now? So, but additionally, rainy vibes, spooky season vibes, locking in that context, cozy. That all
I think
appeals
it's just
too.
because fall is filled with so many moments that just feel like a warm hug. Like, you know, you have holidays, you have Halloween, you have costumes, you have candy, you have baked goods, you have all these like spiced smells. Like everything just feels warm and cozy. And I feel like maybe like subconsciously my mind connects that with like, you know, the fun experiences I had in childhood with like Halloween and Christmas and Thanksgiving and all this stuff, and connecting to the imagination of that younger self during this like season of the holidays. Like I feel like there's some subconscious level of something to that. So, but I do think about that often as like why this season is the most like productive for me, and maybe it's just because it's when I'm like the most connected to my childlike imagination of the holidays and magic and witches and ghosts and all the fun things. But we did get some questions in the chat, so we'll answer a couple of those before we jump into our first sprint, which, by the way, if you didn't know, if you've never been to one of my sprints before, the way this works is we're going to yap for 20 minutes, write for 40. We're going to do that 2 times in a row, and then we're going to send it home. Okay? So that is how this is going to work. And yeah, so we have about 12 minutes more of yap. So we're going to answer some of these questions. So this is a fun one that I love because I love celebrating progress and making those small increments forward, you know, like applauding those because they're worth applauding. But for me personally, because I am an easy person to please, a lot of the times if I'm like, hey, if you sit your butt down and you write your 1,000 words, you can DoorDash some Taco Bell. And it's as easy as that. Like that is all the motivation that I need, because especially on a night when I really just don't want to cook, I can tempt myself with some DoorDash real quick to sit down and write. So that is probably the best way that I celebrate my wins. So
I feel like I am really, really bad at celebrating my wins. Like I really don't do well with like the self rewards, you know? Like it doesn't work for my I guess style of ADHD. I don't know. I'm like, if I'm gonna do this, I'm just gonna do it, you know?
yeah.
And so that doesn't really work for me. And I feel like the best way I celebrate my wins is to be like, ooh, I can work on the next thing I need to tune in.
Yeah. On to the next task. Hey, I love that though. Always eye on the prize, always goal oriented. I love that.
Yeah. Things to work on.
Yeah. We're gonna work on celebrating our wins. We're gonna celebrate our wins at the end of this stream. I'm gonna say it right now. I'm calling it. We're doing it. I just gotta write it down so I don't forget. But Asa, how do you celebrate your wins?
I mean, that makes 2 of us, Meredith. I saw this question and I was like trying to think of fun things I do for myself. So I'm like, just like jolted to therapy where my therapist said, what have you done for you, Asa, today? And I was like, I haven't done anything. And it's like, it's so true. I share everything you just said, Meredith. I could have said, I just don't do it. It's always about the next thing. Maybe different pathologies, ADHD for me, maybe it's just like kind of workaholism and like blind ambition and just other things that like I wish didn't keep me from celebrating my achievements. So Cody, I'm excited to hear that.
Well, I'm good.
The agenda
I'm glad that I brought that up because it's something that all writers, I feel, it's not just you two, I promise. I was horrible about celebrating my wins, and I literally had to sit myself down and be like, hey, you have done so much in the last like year and a half, 2 years, whatever. Chill out. Like, it's okay. And so, I love talking about that because, your mind is literally the source of your creativity. And if your mind is cluttered, then the creativity is blocked. And so it's just important to celebrate and figure those things out. I love. Do any of you guys write a novel with multiple POVs? I have actually written a novel with multiple POVs. My debut novel, The Ghostwriters Club, has 6 POVs. Most of it's from the main character, and then there are 5 separate POV chapters for the other ghostwriters that each have their own chapter. So yes, I have. Have you, either of you done? Is your debut multiple POV?
No, my debut is single POV, which was a very, very intentional choice because the book I queried previously that I have since shelved had 4 POVs, and they were all main POVs, and they all had like their own main external plot lines, their own internal plot lines, their own relationship plot lines, and then multiple overarching plot lines. And I realized through writing that I wasn't quite ready for that. And there's no way to I couldn't do that within the trad word count requirements. So I was trying to get down the word count, and I'm I'm doing too many things. I'm I want to do a book that is focused on really diving into a single character and a single journey and really excelling at that before I start bringing in lots of POV characters again, because it's rough.
I really appreciate you saying that. I appreciate that. Just the idea of okay, this is, I can't quite do this right now. I have a really fun story that I wrote that I never sold, but I wrote it. It was a script, and it was about a driver, a motorist who killed someone's son in a hit and run, and they developed a correspondence between the father and this person who caused the accident. In jail, there was a correspondence that happened in jail, and the story is written in reverse chronological order. And the actual chronology is these 2 men develop a meaningful friendship. The first letter in real time is you'll never forgive me. You'll never reply to this. I just wanted to tell you, this is how I feel. But the story starts with one of them, the dad is picking him up out of prison. And it's this big story of forgiveness and redemption. It's not quite multiple POVs in the sense of a novel. It's more like dueling monologues. This was an audio script. But that was a real venture in that, because they had totally different voices. One was a teenager, one was an older man, and different backgrounds and stuff. But I think that in some ways is way more manageable than the multi-POV novel situation where you're in several different limited thirds, and that's what I describe as just 2 different people talking. So that's the closest I came to that.
100%.
It's hard. It's so hard.
And I have the same thing, just in I guess a different way with this fantasy. This book that I'm currently working on is the one that I've been thinking about it since I was a little kid, 12 years old, a child, is when the first inklings of this story started to grow and develop. And I knew that I wanted it to be a series. And this was always the main target goal that I was always going towards. And I was but I don't even know how to write one book, much less a series of books. And so I forced myself to sit down and write 2 standalones, one of them, The Ghostwriters Club, and then the second one is the paranormal horror vibe book, Project Terms and Conditions. And I made myself learn the things because I was not going to try to start this fantasy series without those, at least a book or 2 under the belt, because I'm dreading the stage that Madeline's at right now, where she's having to tie all these things into the next book. And so it'll be my first time, but we're gonna walk into it boldly and make a mess and see what happens. So it's gonna be a good time. I had a few more questions, but most of them all. Oh wait, Okay, this is a good one because I literally, I'm so excited for this question. What is the perfect dessert that you always eat during spooky season? And I can tell you because I have some in my freezer. It is the sugar cookies with the pictures of ghosts and pumpkins on them. Every single year, I have to have at least one pack of those cookies because it's not spooky season unless I've had my little pumpkin cookies or my little ghost cookies.
Mm-hmm.
So that is my perfect dessert because I'm not a pumpkin flavored person.
Mm.
I'm not a big pumpkin person. But the picture of the pumpkin on the sugar cookie, perfect.
That's
No
wonderful.
notes.
I think I don't have any that are like exclusively spooky season. Like I have things that I eat in spooky season. Like this is around the time of the year where I'm like, ooh, I need s'mores. And I have this
Mhm.
little like microwave s'mores maker that have these little like it works. You like put water in it and I don't know. It works very well. And I enjoy that. And I enjoy starting the pumpkin pie, which is the only thing I like that is pumpkin flavored. Pumpkin flavored drinks? No. Pumpkin flavored anything else? No.
Yeah.
Pumpkin pie though. Yes.
Okay. So you do pumpkin pie with the marshmallow in the s'mores?
Separate dessert.
Oh,
S'mores.
separate dessert.
and-
I was like, whoa, we just got
No.
really like left field. I've never heard of this.
No.
Okay. That tracks. That tracks. Hey, so what about you?
This is thrilling. I don't know if I have more to say about writing or this question. I mean, I'll definitely go hard on a Costco pumpkin pie for sure.
Mhm.
A lot of nostalgia with the Costco pumpkin pie, which are available here in Mexico. So I definitely am after that. My first, Anna Robbins writes, thank you for this question. My first image that came to head when you asked this was like you, Cody, childhood Halloween vibes. My mom we always did like a spooky dinner. I don't know if y'all have seen this where you like make like spaghetti, like brains, like every
Mhm.
plate on the table is made to look creepy. That's where my head went first.
Oh my
So
God.
thank
I
you.
love that though. That's like such a fun tradition.
I
though.
know, right? It was.
And you had like the dry ice in the middle of the table or whatever.
Yes,
A little cauldron.
yes.
Love that.
Oh my gosh, that sounds great. I feel like I need to make that.
I know.
so-
I want to have
it's
me a
so
little
fun.
spooky dinner
I know,
night. Invite all my
Mhm.
friends over and just dress up in like vampire costumes.
Yes.
Turn my house into
And then
Dracula's lair or
drinks.
something. Exactly.
That's the other thing I think of here is like alcoholic beverages.
Oh my gosh.
Mm.
Speaking
like
of,
hot toddies, like all
I
that
had
stuff.
an apple cider sangria slush the other day. When I tell you it was the most delicious, refreshing drink that I have ever had. It was worth the $12 I spent on it. It was so good.
Yeah. This is also the time of year of Renaissance Festival, and ours has a lot of mead. So mead drinks, what do they call them? Like bee stings, which is like half mead, half cider, all that kind of stuff. All very good.
Mhm. Yum. I love a cider. Really, any cider. Like a good, like I love the first time like when you make cider in the house and like the whole house just smells like cinnamon and clove and I yearn for every day to feel like a clove and cinnamon just stewing on the stove with apples and anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just feeling whimsical about fall season. I'm so glad she's here. Even though it doesn't feel like it yet in Tennessee, we still have the 90-degree weather here. But it's getting cooler, slowly but surely.
Yeah.
Oh, someone agrees with you, Asa. Costco pumpkin pie is top tier. And now someone wants to try a pumpkin pie s'mores.
It does sound good. It does.
See, but like to me, these sugar cookies for Halloween are Christmas tree cakes for Christmas. Every year have to get at least one box. And I go off a little bit of the beaten path. I'm more of a fan of the chocolate one than the original. And what you do is you put them in the freezer overnight so that whenever you eat it, it's like an ice cream sandwich. And it is chef's kiss. That is my winter holiday tip for all of you, all of my fellow big backs in the chat.
I love that.
Oh, mulled apple cider. Okay, we gotta get into some writing because y'all are making me hungry now. But that's great because I already have it set up. Would you look at that? The
Ooh.
timer is ready. We're going to be writing for 40 minutes. So everyone, do a little neck stretch, unclench your jaw, roll your shoulders, invite creativity into the room with you, and let's get to writing, friends.
All right.
I have too many tabs open. There we go. I had some lovely fantasy ambiance noise playing, and I was trying to find that tab so I could make the music stop.
Fair.
But all right, that was our first sprint. How did it go for you guys? Awesome.
Madeline.
It
Oh my goodness.
went good in that I have accomplished many good things.
And see, that's all that matters.
Yup, I found a problem.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I've
In
been.
the
I already saw
outline?
like. No, so it's with my calendar because one of the things that I actually needed to care about in outlining book 2 is the fact that like this is a Siberia-inspired world, and book 2 takes place over winter. So I'm like, I have to do so much like climate research with like how different types of transportation happen and like how much time it's going to take to do everything. So I'm like, okay, now I need to work that back into book 1. So I've been like back working the calendar, and I realized that technically, with the amount of time that passes and when I need to start book 2 for climate reasons, book 1 starts at the end of February, which you might be like, okay, you can do stuff in February. Not in Siberia, you can't. So that's how that went.
Oh no. So we have to do a timeline shift?
Yes.
Well, at least you caught it now.
Mhm.
Like, so this is good. All good
Mhm.
things. Hey, so how did it go for you?
It went great. That sounds. Is that something you can put off for later, though? Isn't that like a almost like a technicality? You can be like, or not, or do you feel like it's like this
Suspend
needs to be
belief.
sorted before I write, like, you know?
Well, I mean, I have to fix book 1 and figure out if I can fix book 1, because if I can't like push book 1 and change book 1, then I have to change book 2, and it's
Okay, right.
very significant with how things are done in book 2 that the timing lines up with certain weather events, or that I change how the plot happens.
I see. Okay.
Wow.
Okay, well.
That darn
Celebrate that
weather
win
just
later.
getting the best of us every time.
I know, like, weather, come on, chill out.
Like, ugh, this is my book. Like, why are you bothering me, weather? That is so rude. I don't think I added any word. Okay. I added maybe like 50 words because most of that session I spent because I'm being really picky with my prose in this first draft, and so I was reading over some of this like earlier parts of chapter 2 to really see what I have left to that I want to accomplish in this chapter, which is what I'm going to actually do in the next sprint. But so this is mostly like reading and editing and finding those things that I want to weave through already because I'm a crazy person and I'm doing that in draft 1. It's fine. As long as I get my 1,000 words at the end of the day, that's all that matters. However I get there is however I get there. But we did have a couple friends join us in the stream. Hi, Taylor. Hey, bestie. How are you? Let's see. Christina. Got DW. Oh, so many friends. I was able to write 1,000 words, making my word count 14,384. Very nice. Written about 1,200 words today. Very nice. Additional 512. Man, we are all just killing it and being so productive. Got some words down. Ooh, I think my lovebirds are about to meet.
Ooh.
That's some tea.
I thought you were talking about lovebirds in the chat, and I was like, your subscribers are like, so and so are both here.
Yes, we have a chat romance. That'd be crazy.
Great.
386 words for me, a little slow because this conversation I'm writing is intense, but I'm loving it. Yes, we love a good intense moment. Also, if either of you are so inclined to share a sentence, if you were writing a sentence, like anything in that last sprint, you're welcome to do so. Also, chat, you're welcome to share a sentence. I'll share as well once I get to these comments. Free range female, 597. Very nice. And let's see, best sentence that they have. They prepared to destroy the world that they helped build, and when it came time to, they would watch it with a smile. Ooh, that's fun. Very revenge-esque. Oh, heck to it, freaking weather incidents.
Yes, come on.
Behind on the chat. I'm so behind.
Oh.
Being so, oh my gosh, yes. A chat romance. We love to see it. Katie wrote a little over 1K words in this chapter is nearly done. Is this, so was what you wrote last night on stream, Katie, was that like, were you starting chapter 1 from scratch? Or did you already kind of have like a chapter 1 started before what you did last night? I'm so curious. I love the beginnings of a new story. It's just so fun. Ooh, a small line that I liked from mine. Something about her made me want to talk, but her skin prickled with the danger of being known. Ooh, I love that. I like the imagery there. Very nice. Okay, so let me find my line. I'll do one that I shared with Bestie Taylor earlier because she said that it was a banger. And so I'm going to take her word for it and share it. Okay. Well, I guess it's more of like a passage, so I hope you guys don't mind. But I'm going to just read it because I do like to just offer little sneak peeks of scenes and prose that people will get to see in these early streams. So this is right after my character just got back to the house after a long day at work, basically. I step out of the bath, the smell of lavender and rosemary still thick in the air. Once dry, I pull on my trousers and step in front of the small crooked mirror hanging above the sink. I take in my reflection, brushing my dark hair through with my fingers until it lays how I like it. My hand falls to my chest and I let my finger trace the crystal jutting through my pale skin. While the fact remains that everyone on Fracture bears the same crystal, it doesn't make me feel any less shame, any less powerless. We Talenians derive our power from the land, but since these islands are no longer connected to the heart of Tallinn, neither are we. I'm not sure what my life looked like before I arrived here. I often stay up late at night looking off towards the mountains on the mainland, wondering what it must feel like to have raw power flowing through veins, to wield a magic born of the very dust that willed everything we know into existence. Nothing like here, where the crystals we bear are mere reminders of magic's abandon.
I like that.
Thanks for sharing that, Cody.
I have so many questions.
I know, right? And like, it's just, I'm really just loving this voice that I'm finding with Luca. I was not expecting it. I was definitely like, whenever I was imagining like the outline version of him, he wasn't so like introspective and like sad boy, but he very much is in this. And that's how he is like coming out on the page. And he's very much just like a, like, I've found that his biggest fears have been shifting towards this idea of, and I mentioned this last night on the stream as well, of like feeling, there's like a piece of his spirit that feels like he is missing a life that he doesn't remember losing. And so it's like this like longing for this life, but you don't even know what life you're longing for because you can't remember it. You've never experienced it, but you still, there's a piece of you that misses it, even though you've never had it. And so that's kind of like his, I guess, inner introspection that he is having, because him and Asher, the two main characters, they both arrived on this island and when they were 16 years old with no memory of their life before they arrived.
Mm.
And they shouldn't have survived because the razor fangs in the water should have eaten them alive, but somehow there was a bright white light and there they were washed up on the shore. So it's just like it's just an interesting thing that's coming up because I've been kind of feeling that personally as well. So it's just interesting how it's presenting itself. But anyways, would you either of you
Cody,
like to share?
have you seen that movie, the Motorcycle Diaries? Do you know that movie?
I haven't.
Okay. It's with Gabriel Garcia Bernal from like Y Tu Mama Tambien. Anyway, there's this line, and they're traveling through South America, and it's like looking out at some vista, and he says, "I have nostalgia for things I've never known," and it just completely echoed what you said. So it could
I
be like a
love that.
moment worth exploring because that is at
Yeah.
the center of that film as well.
I love that line.
Nostalgia of things I've never known. I love that.
4 things I've never known. Yeah,
Nostalgia
y'all,
for
I had
things
like
I've
a
never
really
known.
good set share. I mean,
I
I'm on
love-
the other end of the spectrum because you're writing a duology, Madeline, Cody, your deep novel, and I'm starting at the very beginning of something. I was just starting a short story, like based off a writing exercise, which I feel like is the most fun, most easy.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I'll share. This is the first sentence. I came out of this like writing exercise for a horror story, and this is where I'm at so far. The place most folks went to buy curses was a roadside shack, which to the uninformed sold cherries. That's the first sentence, and it really went well. I got a lot done. I'm working.
Oh
by hand
wow,
here.
that's like a whole
I,
page, full page.
Yeah, several. So I feel
Oh.
I feel great. The flow is flowing, and I was watching the stream last night, and I believe it was CK Jetson. It was like the check-in after the first one, and they were like, "Am I just gonna finish this?" If I'm remembering it right, the
Yes. Oh yes. Their
CK was
Project
like,
Death.
"Am I just gonna finish the novel right now?"
Yeah.
This is just a short story, so I might.
They
finish it
they
right
ended
now.
up.
But
I
in any
think I
event,
looked at their
the flow.
Instagram story. Their Instagram story said they got like 8,000 words by the end of yesterday. Yeah, like it was wild. CK, if you're in the chat, congrats to you.
Mm-hmm.
Please take a break.
Yeah. And a nap.
Yeah, and a nap.
Yeah.
Madeline, anything you would like to share?
I can share a couple lines here because I was going through and noting like time passing and like weather instances to note them. So if you want an example of a couple lines, they're not they're more setting establishing than they are like pretty prose.
And that's
But
okay.
they do contradict the fact that this is actually apparently the very much still winter time. So it's trying to ignore the thudding of huge clawed paws hitting the ground and the growls of the Daki chasing her. Ariana focused on the earthy damp smell of the mud and the sweet grassy aroma of the pines that grew stronger every day with the warming days. No.
Well, not because it's February.
right.
Oh no! But that's still a beautiful sentence. I love the imagery with the scents of the pine that grew
Mhm.
stronger every day. We love.
Yeah. I wanted this to feel very like immersive in the fact that like the world plays a big role in it. And so I can't just like, I don't know. Now I have to fix it. I'm like, oh no, fix everything.
Oh man, but you'll get it, and you have time.
Yeah.
I fear. Let's see another line. She never knew anger could become also consuming, but now it narrows her focus and boils across her skin like acid. Okay, acid. Time stutters, and there's a split second of triumphant amusement on his face before she slaps it off. I know that's right. We love to see it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Just throw it at just
See the slap. Love.
Mm.
Yes, love it. Introspective sad boy. Also love the name Luca. OMG, one of my faves. The thing is, his name has been Luca since I was 12. Like that has been his name the entire time. But Luca himself, he's kind of like grown up alongside me, and he is a much different person than he was when I was 12, because I'm a much different person than I was when I was 12. So it's just been really cool to see Luca finally having his story be told. It's happening.
Cody, I'd love to hear, I know everyone's kind of jumping in at various places. Some have been following you from the beginning. Like, can you tell us a little bit more about your kind of plan? This is day 2. So can you just give us a little more context about what to expect over the next few months?
I mean, yeah. So pretty much like I have these live streams because I decided. So last year I did the novel writing challenge, the NaNoWriMo, RIP, and I found that doing a full novel in the 1 month was I got so burnt out. And so the reason that I'm doing this 90-day novel challenge is for a couple of reasons. One, I find, like we previously discussed, this is like in my author like year in review, I think of my October through December as my drafting season, and then
Mm.
January is kind of like my rest month, and then February through uh whatever comes before October, September, month's work, is my like revision / outlining a new story time. So that's kind of like what in my mind my years look like as far as like stories and stuff. But for this particular challenge, I mentioned this last night as well, that I wanted to get used to showing up and making small chunks of progress every day, as opposed to trying to make big goals in a very short amount of time, like 50,000 words in 30 days. I wanted to give myself ample amount of time, set a very achievable goal, just to form the habit of showing up for my creativity daily, because creativity is a powerful thing and it deserves to be shown up for. So
Yes.
Love that.
but yeah, that's like kind of the vibes. By the end of this 90 days, I hope to have streamed a lot, met a lot of new author tubers, and hopefully have a finished first draft of this book. So that's the goal. That's the end goal.
Love it.
Yes. I'm very excited. And and also I love that I want to having you two here, because I wanted to have as many author tubers present to be seen and to share their experience. So, because writing is such a solitary
Mm.
experience most of the time,
Yeah.
and so it's nice to feel seen and heard, and see yourself and your struggles in someone else, and feel a little less alone in those struggles. So
Mhm.
always a good time. And I'm always just a very like woo woo, introspective, like philosophical, like let's talk about like the meaning of life, man. But that's very me. Like I could anyway.
Let's 12-minute
But
break.
don't get me started. I know we have like a minute left. Don't get me started on a tangent. Um, but really quick, what is your short-term goal for this next sprint?
Figure out how to fix the problem of weather and
How to fix
calendar.
weather. Love.
For all of us, I hope you do that.
Yes.
I just want to finish the story. I'm jamming. I'm jamming. It was one of
I
those
love
things. I
it.
was like, do I text Cody and say like, can I just keep going? So I want to get to the end, and in a way that feels honest to the story.
Yeah.
I think 40 minutes is long enough for it to
Oh
like
yeah.
breathe, and I won't have to race and to like wrap it up. But that's my goal.
I love. Yeah, I think my goal is obviously I got to get a few more words in, but I think that the rest of my word count goal for the day will take me to the end of chapter 2, which is whenever we have some new characters arrive on the scene, quite literally out of thin air. So excited to write that. But everyone else in the chat, second sprint is on the clock. 40 minutes. Best of luck to all of you, and happy writing. All right. That is the end of sprint number 2. How did it go for you, friends?
Better?
Better? Did we figure out whether?
We're making progress. We have decided we're not changing when first book starts, and we're just going to try and cut as much time as we can and then push back when book 2 starts and make it work.
Okay, we love a plan. We love to see it. Asa, how'd it go for you?
Worse.
Oh,
no.
We traded.
No. I mean, it started great. Like this exercise I'm doing was kind of like a world building exercise, a rule building exercise to see how that works, particularly with horror stories. And so the prompt was super generative, and I had a world. I have, and the rules and so on. And I was propelled into a story, and it all happened. But then I think I just kind of like, I don't know. I fell off the slide, and I have to go climb back up the ladder because wherever it was going was not on that nice little like track that I had found at the beginning. But progress was made. Words were written. Definitely, I'm a believer of the no writing's waste writing. So I figured out things that it wasn't. I mean, this guy goes to a shop to buy a curse, and what I wrote just now is that he was trying to get somebody heartbroken, but then that's all wrong. So I know that that's not the path of this story. So fruitful, frustrating but fruitful. That was what it was like for me.
I feel that. Yeah, I saw it. I think it was on Instagram. I saw a post today that it said, "Scrapped words are fertilizer for new ideas." Mm. And so it's basically just like repeating that statement that like no words are wasted words. Even if you write an entire story and you don't share it with anyone, it never sees the light of day, you just throw the whole thing away. Those words weren't wasted because you learned a lot about yourself and your craft through that process of writing that story. So yeah, love that sentiment. But for me, I actually I did hit my 1,000 words, and I did finish chapter 2. Chapter 2 is now 2,027 words long, and the total draft is 3,555 words. So 2 chapters down, a lot more to go. But I'm really liking what we found in chapter 2. And when I was reading it back during the first sprint, I was like, I really like this. I'm just really finding a fun voice with this, and it's exciting to see.
That's exciting.
Yeah. But we have now been on Beyonce's internet streaming for 2 hours. So alas, it is time for us to end our evening here together. So before we go, Madeline and Asa, can you tell the people where they can find you on the internet if they want to follow your journey? And if you want to plug anything, feel free to do so. So take it away, Madeline.
Okay, so I have 2 channels. I have Madeline James Writes, which is my AuthorTube channel. I do AuthorTube stuff. I am doing some streams there too as part of this like 90-day challenge. I think I'm streaming tomorrow at 8 a.m. my time. And then I have a Madeline James World Build channel. If you are into heavy duty world building, you can check it out over there. And then I don't know, I have a website. That website has a newsletter. www.madelinejameswrites.com. I don't know.
Okay, newsletter. We love. She's official.
Yeah.
Asa, take it away. Where can they find you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I'm great. I'm Asa. I'm somewhat on the internet, on YouTube. Asa Merritt Writes. That's where you can find me. My quick plug would be for this video. I think I'm going to make a video about this kind of horror writing exercise, world building moment that concluded in this stream. I've been recording, vlogging today about that. I'm going to probably publish it tomorrow. So that's my plug. Watch my video tomorrow. Find me, Asa Merritt Writes. But what I really want to say is thank you, Cody, for your leadership. And oh God, are you laughing at me, man?
I don't know.
No, someone commented and said, "Oh, Angie has a pre-order," and I'm like, "Oh,
okay. Yeah, yes. Madeline has a pre-order. Get on that. I'll just take that up for you. Everyone, Madeline's book is coming out. The pre-order is available now on her website, where you can also subscribe to her newsletter.
Exactly. Look, Asa's got it. You've got it.
You got me.
Here. But no, yeah, Cody, really, this is so cool, and it's so great to be in community with everyone. Madeline, so nice to meet you, and everyone here in the chat. I just love being, yeah. So that's really what I want to say is.
Of course, I'm so happy to have you. And hey, I'm sure by the end of this 90 days, the people will see you again because there are more streams to be had. So.
Mhm.
With that said, thank all of you for being in the chat with us this evening. I hope you all got a lot of productive writing done. And of course, thank you to my two lovely guests offering up 2 hours of their time to hang out on the internet together and just come together in the name of creativity. It's been a lovely evening with you all. My next stream will be Saturday at 10 a.m. Central, and I will be streaming with Charlie Ray Writes. So make sure you come tune in. Also, I think there is a witches streamathon thing happening this weekend, and I know it's across multiple channels. If anyone knows more specifics about that, drop it in the chat because there's all sorts of fun writing sprints going on this weekend, not just mine. So support all of your local indie authors, your author tubers, your indie bookstores, and we'll see you on the internet sometime soon. We love you all so much.